Hello. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so glad you tuned in. What do you guys think about if I switch it up and start coming to you for my Reiki bed for these episodes? Normally I switch and put like my reading chairs over here, but honestly it's been so comfy doing my last couple videos on the Reiki bed, so let me know what you think in the comments. If you're new here, hi, I'm Madison. I have been a medium since I was a kid. I've had just different spiritual abilities since I was a kid. Very open third eye, and it took me a long time to learn what to do with my spiritual gifts, why I have them, all the things. So this episode, we're going to talk specifically about mediumship. So mediumship is one of, I would say, my most natural abilities. When I was a kid, I frequently had experiences where I would connect with spirits, see past loved ones. And my gifts are very clear, voyant and clairaudient. So like I can see them, I can talk to them. So as a kid, I very much remember not realizing that everybody's reality wasn't like that. I just assumed everybody could see spirits, and whenever I learned that I was kind of the weird one, I slowly started to kind of shut some of those gifts off a little bit. And in my 20s, I was super addicted to alcohol and pills and all the things. And so whenever you are consuming that many substances, it really like pushes down a lot of your gifts. And then in 2020, my dad passed away, and all of my spiritual abilities like just kind of came back, which is really cool because mediumship is a skill that I've used to heal a lot of my grief with a lot of family members that have passed, and like friends and different things like that. So over the past couple years, I've been trying to figure out, why do I have these abilities? What am I supposed to do with them? And what I've learned is a big reason that I have these abilities is to help other people work through their grief in a similar way that I use these abilities to heal my own grief. But I also very much feel like I am here to make people feel confident in their gifts, to validate their gifts, and to help them practice and play in their gifts. Because a lot of people have gifts and abilities like myself, and they were very closeted, very afraid to use them, very much afraid of what people will think. And I get that because I went through all of that. So this episode, I just want to try to normalize maybe some of those abilities that you've been seeing coming through and answer some of my frequently asked questions. So mediumship as a whole is the ability to connect with somebody who has passed whenever you're here in the physical. So there are a couple main ways that mediumship is used. I personally use it largely to act as a channel. So I'm able to connect with a person or a pet who has passed, connect with them, and basically act as a messenger between them and somebody in the physical who wants to talk with them, get closure, has questions, whatever. So that is a large way that I use mediumship. There's also a piece of mediumship where sometimes you come into contact with like trapped spirits. So for example, in the office space that I'm in, if there was a trapped spirit here, I could work with that spirit to help them pass and kind of like go into the light instead of like staying stuck. Because sometimes what happens is if, let's say you are a mom and you're in a really bad car crash, your life ends immediately, but like you weren't ready, prepared, you didn't know it was gonna happen. So like your soul is still very much attached to being here in the physical, maybe with your kids, with your husband, whatever. And mediums can kind of come in and help those souls or spirits that are stuck move into the light, and then be able to kind of move freely as spirits. Once they kind of move into the light, they won't be like trapped in one place. They can kind of come and go as they please, if that makes sense. So those are two big areas of mediumship. A lot of my gifts more lie on the acting as a messenger, but I am adding a piece of my business that is going to be house clearing, where if you live somewhere where there's just a lot of unrest, a lot of spirits, and you want them to be maybe a little bit more tame, or you want them to be a little bit maybe kinder, or you're just worried about the energy, I'll actually come in and work with the spirits to either help them pass, help them move out, whatever that looks like. So my experience, I have been doing a lot of readings over the past probably year or so. So I've been doing readings for myself and working with my gifts for the past probably 4 or 5 years. But over the past year, about a year ago, I realized that I could do readings for others. And essentially, I was in the Akashic Records. If you've never heard about the Akashic Records, I've got some other YouTube videos on that. I just talk a lot about what they are. But I was basically in the Akashic Records, like, why do I have these abilities? What am I supposed to do with them? And shortly after that is when I had my first interaction where I connected with people that I didn't know in this life, and I realized that I could use my gifts to do readings for others. So since that point, I've been doing medium and Akashic Records and tarot readings and Reiki on other people. And a big part of that has been me learning how to kind of turn it on and off my abilities, how to connect, how to channel, how to make sure I'm in contact with the right spirit, how to put up kind of barriers of protection whenever I do connect with spirits. And it's been such a fun, such a cool experience. One thing that's been really cool is I always knew I could connect with people, but recently I've learned I could connect with pets. And so I've been doing a few medium nights, and a lot of people have wanted kind of connection or, making sure a pet that passed was okay. And I was like, I've never connected with pets, but let's try. And I can have a very similar experience to what I do with people, with pets as well. So that's been really cool because there are a lot of people that are like, my pet is my family. And so being able to add that level of like grief work and closure to people has been really, really cool. So a big thing that I am launching and starting to work on is a mediumship mentor program. During the time of doing this work, I've come in contact with a lot of people who are having spiritual experiences, medium experiences. Their third eye is very open, but they're not sure what to do with the gifts. They're afraid to use them. They don't really know how to use them. And they're looking for kind of like a safe place to like learn and practice and play in their gifts. So I developed a 4-week long mediumship mentor program where every week we have a different topic where we learn how to channel and connect with spirits. We learn how to use objects to connect in with spirits quicker and easier. We learned how to turn on and off the third eye. We learn how to connect with pets and people if that's something you're interested in. You can practice doing readings on yourself and on others. And so it's really just this program that I designed to help people be able to play in their gifts, learn how to use them, and eventually learn how to read for others if that's something you wish to do. If you don't, then you just learn how to read on yourself. But that's a really exciting new offering that I have. And I will actually link it in the show notes if that's something you're interested in. It's just under Mediumship Mentorship. And it is one-on-one time with me to just really feel comfortable about playing in your gifts and exploring them a little bit more. So some of the things will be learning to channel, learning safe connections, learning how to turn on and off your third eye, learning how to use objects. Sometimes people will come to you to want a reading and they'll have a picture of the person that passed, and being able to use objects is a really cool way to tap into just a really direct line to that person, if that makes sense. And then we'll also practice readings on yourself, practice readings on me if you want to learn how to read on others. And it's just going to be a really fun time for you to be able to get all your questions answered and be able to learn a little bit about how I've tapped into my gifts and what you can use yours for. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode.